So we know that one of the keys to good execution is putting ourselves in our core members' shoes and thinking about the experience from their perspective. So we're going to start at the very beginning of their journey, which is when they finish Institute. So thinking about where the space that core members might be at this point in time, they're probably a little tired, but they're really excited to start their school year and to get in there with their kids. And so what we're going to do is think about what the goals are of Institute and what we might expect that they are learning coming out of the Institute, so we can anticipate what scenarios and mindsets they're coming to us with, what they're starting their journey with. And then we're also going to think about where the reality may deviate from the ideal and some of those things that we can get ahead of on the front end. So before we do that, I'm going to have you refer to your planning document. So as we go through talking about Institute and the goals of Institute and some pitfalls that we might want to get ahead of, you're going to want to be recording these things in your planning document. We're going to start generating some lists. So have that at the ready as we go through this. Okay, so what happens at the Institute? What do we want? What are core members supposed to learn during their summer experience? The first thing is that they start getting their first taste of backwards planning and database problem solving. But they get it in very bite-sized chunks on a daily lesson level. So they're not yet learning how to apply those concepts at the course level or even at the unit level. They're first getting their exposure to it in small daily chunks. So what that looks like is they might, or they do get a lot of instruction in creating objective-driven lesson plans. So they get practice in setting a goal at the beginning of a lesson, and then working towards that. They also think about how they build a mindset that it's important to have a goal and to work toward it. They don't yet know exactly how to do that at the course level, or even in some cases how to generate that goal on their own, but they know that it's important, and they know that it's something they should be doing. They also learn things like checking for understanding or how to basically track student performance. They maybe haven't had experience in setting it up themselves, but they do have experience in things like looking at daily exit slips to think about how their students did on that lesson, or looking at weekly quizzes. And then lastly, they build the ability to think about their student outcomes as linked to their actions in the classroom as teachers. And we know that's a really important prerequisite skill to be able to later engage in co-investigation.
And Felicia, I just want to jump in
Sure.
quickly here because I heard some questions about how to use the planning document. This is actually a time where the first column is there for you. If you want to be taking some notes about exactly what these knowledge, skills, and mindsets are, this would be a helpful place in your planning document to record it, because then you can look at it right next to the things that might not work out exactly as planned.
Great, thanks, Kate. All right, let's talk about some other things that our core members get out of the Institute. Another big piece of what they learn are just like the basics of setting up their classroom, the things that they need to be able to get a classroom off the ground. And those are things like being able to execute or deliver instruction in a lesson, or be able to respond to misbehavior, or being able to invest their students at the very beginning. So there's some of those basics that we know are so critically important to getting the year started off right. And then the third major chunk of things that they learn is in relation to our diversity, community, and achievement curriculum, or DCA. I'm not going to go into detail about this right now because we are going to talk about this in much more detail later on in the week, but I just want to quickly highlight that this is another kind of area of things that they talk about. All right, so that's on the ideal level. On the ideal level, our core members are learning about backwards planning and database problem solving in bite-sized chunks. And they're building the mindsets that it's a good thing to do this at the unit level and the course level, although they don't necessarily have experience in doing that themselves. If that's what we know, what we want our core members to walk away with, it's also important for us to think about as we're designing our sessions for orientation and our kickoff sessions. It's also important for us to think about where the reality might deviate from that ideal state. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do, and you're going to start, again, using your planning document. In your table groups, first what you're going to do is spend about 3 minutes just independently brainstorming what are some of the pitfalls that we often see with core members right out of Institute, right as they're walking through the door to orientation sessions. And then after you've taken the 3 minutes to independently brainstorm and jot down some of those ideas in your planning document, you're going to do a whip around at your table, led by your table facilitators. And then we're going to come back whole group. Okay? All right, so question and response. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Okay, so again, these are things, overview, broad stroke things that we want core members to be getting, but we know sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. All right, so I'm going to set you loose to start independently brainstorming at your table, and then after 3 minutes, move into your whip around.